I want to talk about a trend that's really rocking our current food system, and that is the rise of alternative proteins. I'll start off by reminding you that the environmental impact of our current food and agricultural systems are massive. Mainstream science shows clearly that fundamental food system production and consumption transformations are required if we're going to keep our food systems within environmental limits. We really do need radical change. While improvements in production practices will help, absolutely, consumer dietary change has been reported to be able to deliver environmental benefits on a scale not achievable by producers. There are, of course, many ways to achieve sustainable and healthy diets, but meat reduction is touted to bring about the biggest change. So it's perhaps not surprising to see that reducing the population's meat and dairy consumption is now starting to appear on government agendas in many developed countries, even in New Zealand, where we are an agricultural export-focused country that relies heavily on animal agriculture. Our Ministry for Education has put together a climate change resource recently to advise teachers on how to teach children to eat less meat and dairy products. Our Ministry for Health is advising hospitals to promote plant-based diets, just as a couple of examples. I think consumer interest in plant-based alternatives is really gaining considerable momentum. In addition to concerns about the environmental impacts of producing animal-based foods, an alarming number of consumers are also choosing to look for alternatives to animal protein for both health and ethical reasons as well. If we just look at market trends in my country, key findings in a nationally representative study which conducted last year showed New Zealanders are reducing their meat intake, and combined, flexitarians and meat reducers now make up approximately a third of the New Zealand population. So, of course, businesses both here in New Zealand and globally are trying, responding frantically to these quickly changing eating patterns. And we're seeing a dramatic increase in the mainstream availability of alternative protein products. So I'm currently working on a newly funded project, which is all about measuring consumers' responses to these alternative proteins. And I look forward to being in a position to share the results from this work with you at the IAIC conference next year. So I want to put it to you that as agricultural sustainability innovation scholars and as members of this association, IAIC, we should all be thinking about our roles in relation to this alternative protein trend. I challenge all of you to individually think about how best we can assist our respective governments, citizens, and our industries, agricultural and food industries, successfully transition to more plant-based diets that are better for our people and, of course, planetary health.